Hey, Cowboys Nation! Welcome back to the channel, the place where passion meets all things Dallas Cowboys. We know this team is constantly pushing to improve, and as fans, we're right there with them every step of the way. If you love this team as much as I do and want to stay in the know about every move, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you're always the first to hear the latest. All right, let's talk about what's shaking up Cowboys Nation today. Big moves on the horizon for our Dallas Cowboys. We're talking about head coach Mike McCarthy officially out, the search for a new head coach heating up, and whispers about a potential blockbuster trade for none other than all-pro wide receiver Davante Adams. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this. Let's start with the coaching situation. After another disappointing 7-10 season, the Cowboys have officially parted ways with Mike McCarthy. Now, I know McCarthy had his ups and downs, but the writing's been on the wall for a while, right? This team needed a fresh start, and Jerry Jones has made the call to begin that journey. But here's the million-dollar question. Who's next? Names like Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, and even Bill Belichick were initially floating around. But as you know, Jerry loves to surprise us, and some reports suggest familiar names like Kellen Moore or Jason Witten could be contenders. Now, I gotta say, I respect Witten's legacy as much as any Cowboys fan, but is this really the right time for a high school coach to take the reins of America's team? Let me know in the comments. Do you think Witten or Moore is the answer? Or should we be aiming higher? Now let's get to the juicy part, trade rumors involving Davante Adams. Yeah, you heard me right. Bleacher Report's Morris Martin predicts the Cowboys could make a play for the six-time Pro Bowler, potentially sending a 2025 third-round pick and a fifth-round pick to the New York Jets. Adams is coming off another solid season despite bouncing between the Raiders and Jets. And pairing him with CeeDee Lamb, that's a combo that could strike fear into any defense. But there's a catch. His contract comes with a cap hit north of $38 million in 2025. Ouch. For a team sitting with just under $5 million in cap space, we'd have to get creative, maybe restructure deals for guys like Dak Prescott or Lamb. But imagine the possibilities. Would Adams be worth it to push this offense over the top? What do you think? Beyond the Adams rumors, we've got key players hitting free agency. Big decisions are looming. Do we lock down our homegrown talent or go after experienced vets in the market? And how do we maintain balance without blowing up the salary cap? One thing's for sure. This offseason will define the Cowboys' future. With a new head coach and potential blockbuster trades, Jerry Jones is making moves, but will they be the right ones? Cowboys Nation, the stakes couldn't be higher. Big news rocked Cowboys Nation this week. Mike McCarthy is officially out as head coach after contract talks fell apart. This move has left many scratching their heads, including Cowboys legend Troy Aikman, who didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts. Aikman said, and I quote, "It suggests there's not a real plan." He went on to criticize how the situation was handled, pointing out the lack of foresight in missing out on key coaching candidates like Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, who are currently locked into their teams for playoff runs. Now look, we all know Jerry Jones is a man who marches to the beat of his own drum, but does that approach still work in today's NFL? Aikman himself said it best. For a coach to succeed here, they need to do things on their terms, and that's tough with Jerry at the helm. Let's talk about what this means for our coaching search. On paper, the Cowboys are a high-profile team, a dream job for many. But is it really that simple? Aikman raises a valid point when he questions whether this is truly a coveted role. Sure, you get the spotlight, but at what cost? When Jerry Jones is both owner and GM, how much control does a head coach really have? Aikman's critique didn't just stop at the coaching situation. He also touched on the broader culture surrounding the Cowboys and what it takes to build a winning program. He asked, is Dan Campbell if he's with the Dallas Cowboys? It's a powerful question because it highlights how much autonomy and culture matter for a head coach's success. Simon, Aikman's point is clear. The Cowboys' high-profile nature and Jerry Jones's control can make it difficult for a coach to truly build a team their way. The pressure cooker environment isn't for everyone, and it'll take a unique leader to thrive in that setting. Beyond the coaching search, there's still plenty to figure out as we prepare for next season. Key roster moves, free agent signings, and potential blockbuster trades are all on the horizon. One name that keeps coming up in trade rumors is All-Pro wide receiver Davante Adams. Imagine pairing him with CeeDee Lamb. That's a duo that could strike fear into any defense. But making that trade happen would require some serious salary cap maneuvering. The Cowboys currently have just under $5 million in cap space, so we'd need to get creative to fit Adams' contract onto the books. Restructuring deals for players, like Dak Prescott or Lamb himself, might be necessary. Host gestures emphatically. Cowboys Nation, how do you feel about this potential move? Is a big trade the missing piece we need, or should we focus on developing homegrown talent instead? We've seen names like Kellen Moore and Jason Witten surface as potential hires, guys familiar with Jerry and the organization. But are these really the best choices? Let me ask you, Cowboys Nation, would you rather see an outside hire with fresh ideas or someone already in Jerry's circle of trust? One of the biggest concerns here is timing. With McCarthy's departure coming now, we've essentially missed our shot at interviewing some of the most sought-after coaching minds. Johnson and Glenn, for instance, are off-limits until the Lions' playoff run is over, and that could be a while if they keep their Super Bowl dreams alive. It feels like we're already behind the 8 ball, doesn't it? Meanwhile, other teams are locking in their next head coaches, setting themselves up for success in 2025. So what's the plan, Jerry? We're all waiting for that big move, but will it be one that brings us closer to a championship or keeps us stuck in neutral? Beyond the coaching search, there's still plenty to figure out as we prep for next season. Key roster moves, free agent signings, and potential blockbuster trades. This is shaping up to be one wild offseason for America's team. Rumors are already swirling about possible trades to bolster the offense. Could Jerry Jones make a splash? Move for a big-name wide receiver to pair with CeeDee Lamb? Or will we see a more conservative approach focused on developing young talent and filling roster gaps? Only time will tell. So here's where we stand. McCarthy is out, a new coach is on the way, and Adams could be in the mix. It's going to be one wild offseason for America's team. But now I want to hear from you. Do you trust Jerry to steer us in the right direction? Is Adams worth the price, or should we focus on building elsewhere? And who's your pick for our next head coach? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for all things Cowboys, and share it with your fellow fans. Let's keep this conversation rolling. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, go Cowboys!